Hi everyone. Oops, I forgot to have my. Hi everyone. This is really the first movie for your Excel Chapter 1 Pause and Practice. We're going to start with Paradise Lakes here. Okay, so we have the Paradise Lakes that we downloaded and opened. I'm going to turn around and save it as, it'll be your initials, and it will be yours, not mine. PP for pause and practice. Now we're going to do E because we're now in Excel Chapter 1, and there are 4 pause and practices for this. Okay, and it is going to get saved as an Excel workbook. So the extension that you're going to see is going to be different, and the picture that you're going to see is going to be different. The extension will be XLSX. That's how you know it'll be an Excel file instead of what we were previously using for Word documents. Alrighty. So we have it saved into our new name, and now we're just going to start putting in some data. So I'm going to put my cursor in A1, make it the active cell. I can verify that because I have the A is gray, the 1 is gray, there's a green box around that cell, and my name box says A1, so I know I'm in the right place. So we're just going to type Paradise Lakes Resort, and remember we're going to enter or tab or check mark. I want to go ahead and just hit enter. It takes you down into that cell, and that's okay because we're not really going to enter anymore. We're going to come down here to A10. So I'm just going to click on the cell A10, type the word total, and enter. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to put in some numbers here in column G. So from G5 through G9 here, I'm going to put some data in there. And here's where it does matter, right? So I'm going to go, I want this cell, the next cell, the next cell, the next cell, down in that column. So I am going to use my enter key. But I also have to put in column H. So let me show you a trick. So if I just had column G, I would just hit enter. But because I have to put G and H in, here's what I do. So 3075, and when you're typing numbers, you don't put commas, you don't put dollar signs really. The only thing you put is the numbers, and if there's a decimal point, you put the decimal. Now I'm going to hit tab. I'm going to type 3201, and now I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to take me down to the first cell that I started hitting tab with. So it's a quick way to get the data in. So 925, tab 1050, enter. 682 tab 564, enter. 375 tab 252, enter. 534 tab 892, enter. So it's a quick way, right? So enter tab, I'm sorry, yes, enter tab, enter, not the enter key. Enter the numbers, hit the tab key, type your numbers, hit the enter key, right? So type, tab, type, enter. Type, tab, type, enter. It makes it go very quickly and easily. Alrighty. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is use, it's called the fill handle. So I want you to select Sunday. That's B4, cell B4. It's got the word Sunday in it. And when you select a cell, there's a little box at the corner, and that's called the data fill handle. And so one of the things that you want to be aware of when you're working with Excel is, what does your mouse look like? And I think that's one of the things that students have some issues with when they're first learning. So do you see how I'm in a blank cell, and it looks like, I think it looks like kind of the American Red Cross symbol. It's a cross that's big and empty in the middle. If I move to an edge, and look, it becomes a crosshair with arrows on the end, that is the move. If I go to the little box at the corner, it becomes the crosshair with no arrowheads. That's a copy, right? If I move up to my column B, do you see the black down arrow? That's going to select the entire column. If I move between B and C, it changes again. That allows me to change the width of that column. If I go over here, it's the same way. So I can enter, I'm selecting a row, I'm changing a row height. So just get used to that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use that little box at the corner. It's called a data fill handle. So I'm on Sunday. I want to make sure that my mouse changes to the crosshairs with no arrowheads, because that's a move. And then drag it. And it looks like nothing happens, And then halfway through it'll pop. And you'll see the little tooltip, it'll tell you the days. And because this is one of the special kind of words, so it could be days of the week, months of the year, it will continue the series. It's called a data fill, so it'll fill that data series. It also could do a copy, and we're going to do more work with that. But if it's so another thing would be, let's say I have 1, 3. I could select both of those, use the data fill handle, and it'll, do you see that? It'll go 7, 9, 11. It'll fill that series based on that pattern. Okay, so that little box is a really kind of a magic box. So get used to using that. The biggest problem that students seem to have is they don't, they end up with the arrowheads, and then it becomes a move instead of a copy. So just watch, there's no arrowheads. All right, let's B10. Right now it has a formula in it. It doesn't actually have 5959. If I look up here at my formula bar, it's got a formula. So I'm going to delete that formula so we can put that back in at some point. So I just clicked on it and hit my delete on the keyboard, and it's gone. All right, so let's go to A4, and we could double click on A4, or we could hit the F2 key. Either of them puts you in, if you look down at the bottom, okay, so we're in ready mode, and when we double click or we hit the F2, we go into edit mode. And so now, do you see my insertion point? My blinking bar is actually within the cell. And so now I can use my arrows on my keyboard and delete an I. All we're doing is making, I don't care what you delete, we're just making a spelling error, because later on we're going to correct that spelling error. And I'm going to hit enter to accept it. You always have to hit enter or tab or the check mark to accept your changes, right? Okay, so let's do A9. We're going to do the same thing. This time I'm going to hit my F2 key. That's the edit key. And let's just move through and get rid of one of these P's. Enter, gets out of there. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to select the range of cells starting with A5. So A5 through A9. So these are the categories of revenue, and we'd like to indent them a little bit so that you can see them, that they show up. So if we select them, and here's what I do. You have to get that kind of American Red Cross, right? Click, hold, and drag down, and then let go, right? So practice that. Click, hold, drag. So now my green box is around all of those cells. I'm going to come to the Home tab, and I want to do the alignment group. I want to find these two keys right here. This is increase and decrease indent. So I'm going to hit that increase twice. So 1, it shifts over. 2, it shifts over. So within that cell, it moves the contents, okay? So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select B4 through H4, okay? So I go in the middle, American Red Cross, click, hold, drag over to H4. So B4 through H4, I'm going to go into this alignment group again, click on center. So that centers the contents of the cell within that cell. Okay, next thing, B4 through B9. We're going to select B4 through B9. Okay, so I've decided I don't want my week to begin on Sunday. I want it to begin on Monday. So I'm going to take this Sunday column and put it over here, right? So I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to come up here and cut, or you can do a Control X. It puts it on the clipboard. I want to click over here to cell I4, and then I'm just going to click on paste. So it took Sunday away from column B and put him in column I. Okay? So now what we want to do is select C4 through I9 because now I have this big gap, right? So we're gonna do this. We could cut and paste again, but I'm going to show another way, and that's using the crosshairs with the arrows. Remember I said that's a move, the box is a copy. So we're going to click while our mouse looks like that, click, hold, and drag over one and let go, and it put it over. So we no longer have a blank cell, we have Sunday at the end. Sweet. Okay, let's go A1. Select A1 as your active cell, and I think we're done. So let's just do a save, and that's it for Pause and Practice 1. I'll start Pause and Practice 2 with the new movie. Thank you.